Alright, what we have here are four exponential equations, four different types of exponential equations, and 4 different graphs of various exponentials, and these each match to one particular graph. So we want to figure out which function belongs to which graph. Okay, so I look at these four graphs, and here's the first thing that I look at. I notice that my starting value here and here are both positive y values. Okay, they're both positive y values. So remember, our y-intercept is our a value. So I'm going to come down here to these and say, okay, look at my a values. -4, -4, 2, and a 6. Okay, so these two here both have positive a values. Okay, so that means our starting location is positive. So these two belong to these two. Here, I see that I have a negative a value and a negative a value, meaning our starting location gives us a negative y. Okay, so these two belong to these two. So now let's talk about what's going on. Well, in this one here, I see that I've got 2 times 1/2 to the x. Okay, so what I want to do is figure out what's going on. Let's pick a couple of different values for x. I'm going to choose f of 2 to 1/2 squared. Well, what's 1/2 squared? 1/2 squared is 1 squared over 2 squared. Okay? So that would be 2 to the 2 times 1 over 4, which then gives me 2 over 4, which is 1/2. Okay? So let's try a different value. Let's try a little bit larger value. F of 4. Hope that's visible. Okay. Oh, can't exactly see it there. There we go. Okay. So when x was at 2, we did the math out, and we end up with a 1/2. Okay? So that means we have one data point of x being a 2 and y being a 1/2. When x is a 4, okay, so x is getting larger, I end up with x is a 1/4, if you can see that. Okay? So in other words, our y value is getting smaller. So as x gets bigger, y gets smaller. So I look at these two and go, okay, well here, x gets bigger, well y is getting bigger. But over here, as x gets bigger, y is getting smaller. Okay? So this one here, we would associate with graph D. This would be number 2. Alright. So just to confirm that number 4 then is associated with A, let's do that. Let's look at it. Well, what happens when I put a 2 in here for x? Oh, sorry. What happens when I put a 2 in there for x? So f of 2 is going to be 6 times 4 squared. Well, what's 4 squared? It's 16. 6 times 16. Okay. Alright, and let's try f of 3. Okay, well, what's 4 cubed? 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. 6 times 64. Okay, what we see is that as x gets larger, so does y. Y is getting much larger. So as we travel in the x direction here, y is getting exponentially larger. Okay. So this one here is associated with A.